This is Spur shelter. This is where we stayed last night. Kind of busy out here last night. There were quite a few tents around. The water source is real close to nearby. You can probably hear it gurgling behind me. Good place to hang barrel line. Lots of tent space out here. In fact, there were quite a few tents here last night. There were probably 5 or 6 tents here in addition to the folks that stayed in the shelter. Gavin and Snow Cream and I stayed there, and Frizzle. We met him back down at Angel's Rest. It was a really nice place to be. And our creek water source for the shelter right down here. I just came down this morning to get water. Excuse me. Oop, finger in the lens. There we go. There's some creek right there for you, by golly. This is running well. Nice water source. I was sitting there laying there last night in the shelter, drifting off to sleep. You could hear the water running along. It was really, really peaceful here last night. It's kind of a cool morning this morning. That's where I got my water for breakfast. It's kind of a cool morning, but I slept well last night. It was nice to be able to zip up my sleeping bag and be warm in it. And I think we're going to be kind of walking along this creek for a little ways this morning. We're going to get to a roadway, I think, and then we start climbing. And we've got a few things to see today. I think there's a Kelly Knob that's coming up for us. I think that's a pretty nice view. And I don't know what all else. We're going to try to get in touch with Bullfrog today. He's back at Angel's Rest, and he'll be joining us in a day or so. I'm going to see if I can work out a way for him to bring out some food when he comes and maybe meet us today or tomorrow. And we'll be set to get on into the next town. And that'll be nice. So hopefully get some cell signal in a little bit. We'll talk to you shortly. Yeah, this is where we're walking this morning, and it's just a beautiful day. The birds are out chirping. We got wide open forest here this morning. So far the trail has been good to us. I know we've got some climbing to do today, but we'll be all right with it because we've done that before. We're not going to see any terrain, I think, today that we've not already dealt with and conquered. So that's kind of a nice thing. And I don't think we've got horrible rocks today either. So that'll be good. I think we're going to have a view on top of Kelly Knob. And I've heard that the trip up there is not going to be too terribly steep, so that's good too. But right now we're going to take the terrain we've got because it's pleasant, it's comfortable, it's cool this morning, nice weather, the birds are singing, and it's a great day. What's that, bud? The bugs are out, yeah, that's true. The bugs are out this morning. We're gonna maybe do some investment in some bug spray for when we get to the shelters and campsite areas so that they don't carry us off in the evening. But we're doing well. Alrighty, nice little footbridge this morning over the creek. And this may signify the start of our going uphill a little bit. And that's all right, it'll be nice. Pretty creek. Even nicer bridge. This was good and solid. And we're heading on up the trail. We got rhododendron here to start with, and we're moving along. Well, we got to the top, and we're on ridge line with rocks, but that's all right. They're good rocks. I like these. They're big enough you can walk over them mostly without tripping. And it's nice to be doing a flat for a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out what our plans are. Heard from Bullfrog, he's back on trail, but he's a couple of days behind us. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up with him in the next 3 or 4 days. Angel should be back by the weekend. We can reunite our trail family. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to. We've got a view coming up somewhere today, not too far down this ridge line, maybe a mile or two. And kind of looking forward to that. May take that as the opportunity to eat a bite. May go before that, I don't know. We'll see how things go, but right now I'm going to have to go down these rocks. So I'm going to stop and put my phone away. Well, you may notice on that tree up there, the trail I'm on is a blue blaze. This is about a 120-yard side trail out to Kelly's Knob, where there's supposed to be some really nice views. So I'm gonna go view. Kev should be out here somewhere. There he comes. And we'll see what there is to be seen. So yeah, not too, oh, excuse me, not too terribly far out here. And wow, there's some rocks, and I'm guessing there's some views if you climb over out on them. Yep, that's a view. Be careful, bud. Don't want to fish you out of this mess. I don't know. You might don't. You might not. Yeah, well, I'd say be real careful if you maybe. I wouldn't if I were you. That's a long ways down. That's a long ways down in that crevice right there. I think I'd be satisfied with what we got here and know that we'll have better views tomorrow or the next day. So, anyway, yep, gorgeous views this morning. We're gonna sit here and chill for just a little bit, and then we'll go on up the trail a little ways. Well, this was our stop and rest for a few minutes spot at Laurel Creek Shelter. We made use of the facilities here, which was nice. And we're gonna go about a 1/10 of a mile down the trail and fill up with water and head on to our shelter for the evening. We was trying to sit down and do some planning. I miscalculated our mileage and thought that the road crossing that we've got coming up here just in a little ways was a place that we could resupply, but it's not. And sat down and taken a few minutes to take my pack off and rest a little bit and recalculate and figure out how we can get ourselves resupplied and such as that. So anyway, we're gonna head on down the road. I guess this is the way back out. I can't remember now which way I came in, but I bet you this is gonna go back and cross the trail here just in a second, so I'm not real worried about it. Maybe that was the path on down to where the water crosses, I don't know. Well, looks like there's a junction right here. There's a blue blaze, and I don't know where I am. Is this the way we came in? This is the way we came? Okay, we'll go back the way we came because I know the trail's there. Yep. Oh, there's the sign that says, okay, there's the sign that says shelter, so I'll also go back up the trail. We need to go down this way.
That's what I meant.
Okay, sorry about that. I misunderstood you. Thanks for your help, bud. You're doing a great job. Anyway, we're gonna go find water here about a 1/10 of a mile down. Oh, we could have gone to the right, but we would have missed about 15 or 20 feet of the trail, and that's no good. So we'll get some water and move on down the road. Alrighty, there we go. I just missed a opportunity, but that's all right. We're down here getting our water, and see the moss on the rocks right down here. And I'm gonna go over here and fill up and squirt some water out, and we're gonna go on up the trail. So we'll see you shortly. Man, well, you look at that. Look at all the moss on the rocks down here. This is where we're crossing over this creek, theoretically. I'm gonna go slow and steady. And there we go. Big rock, lots of moss. Hadn't seen that before. That is some well-hydrated moss right there. It is doing well. I'm stepping on across. Right there and right there. And up. I believe we'll go down right there and there. And we'll go up right here and safely across the creek. And Hawkeye will be coming right in behind me here just in a minute, but I'm going to show you that. That is a pretty awesome little view right there. I think sometimes those are even better or as good as some of the mountains that we get up on and look across. But it's just him bouncing right across there, just like he knows what he's doing. Pretty incredible. It's been a remarkable treat to see how he has grown and strengthened as a hiker. He's doing a great job. All right, on down the trail. We're headed to our shelter. Yeah, Snow Cream and I are in agreement. This is not downhill at all. There he goes. We were kind of counting on that going out of the shelter area for a ways, but I guess it's generally down with moments of steep up and stairs. Yeah, Gavin just saw it and said, oh boy. So anyway, we're gonna go downhill a little ways here just for a minute. So we'll talk to you soon. Well, going down the trail, we just noticed this pasture over here. Kind of nice. I think we may go through a corner of it. I'm not real sure. We'll see. But, downhill a little bit this afternoon, mostly. Except for those steep stairs I showed you, those are definitely not downhill. But mostly trending downhill anyway. And should be headed towards a road crossing before too long. And then about 4 more miles to the shelter, I think. And some of that's going to be uphill. Look, stopped abruptly. There's definitely a cow place. I don't remember now what you put in those things. I guess feed for that. Yeah, because it's cut open. Feed or salt, I'm not sure which. But anyway, doing the meander down through the woods. Well, the trail has dropped us out in the middle of this pasture land. We're going to hope for no bulls. There was no fence up, so I think this is actually not pasture land at the moment. Sure is awfully pretty. Be able to stand here and look around. Nice place up there. Hawkeye's behind us somewhere. And wander on over the ridge, I reckon. See what happens. The only downside to hiking in this, there's no shade. There's a little bit of a breeze. And thankfully it's not a blazing hot day, but shade would be nice too. Well, this is the trail. We're going down through the middle of this field. And it looks like we're going to turn right and go some further. We've already made one turn at the top of that last pasture. I took a picture of Gavin way down in the distance. But you can see Snow Cream up there, and I believe he's getting ready to veer off to his right and keep on to getting it. So I reckon I'll do the same. This is a different kind of a view, and I like it just as well as some of the others we've seen. This pasture land is just very serene. Of course, there's no bulls in here right now either, as far as I'm aware. So that kind of helps the serenity just a little bit. But we just came out of that pasture. We walked along that probably for a mile or more. I'll have to go back and check the book to see exactly how far, but it seemed like a while. Maybe more, maybe closer to 2. I don't know. It's odd because when we left the shelter up there, I thought we were 2 miles from that little area there, and it seemed like we walked really fast for a long time and didn't get too far. So I don't know. Nice little creek right here. Good swimming hole right there if you needed to. I don't. I'm going to cross and figure out which way the trail goes because I don't see another blaze either direction, but I bet it's right up there on that rock. I bet it goes across the creek and then down along through there would be my guess. So we'll test that theory here as soon as I step over the guardrail. Well, starting to climb, and there's the remnants of an old cabin of some sort that you don't see very often on the trail. At least not so far, I haven't. Of course, it's in slightly worse shape than some of the shelters that I've stayed in, but I guess in a pinch. I don't know, there's probably varmints in there. But we've started our 3 mile out to the shelter climb, and that first stretch of it was steep. Hopefully it will abate and level off and gradualize and not be too steep. But anyway, we're heading on up the way in the final part of our day. It's later in the day than I like to be hiking. Of course, we need to get used to hiking later in the day, but we should be further along this time of the day too. I think our day was somewhere in the neighborhood of 12.3, and it's going to be pushing 4 o'clock before we get there. We're a little late getting started, but not bad. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. We're gonna have to get up and get out tomorrow because I think we're gonna try to do a 16 tomorrow. And I hope the terrain is good for that. I think it will be, unless there's lots of rocks. And that's the one thing that you can't predict. But anyway, we go on up the road. We'll talk at you again real soon. Alrighty, so that is an oak tree. Not right in front of me, but beyond it. So this is the Kaffir oak. This is the largest oak tree on the southern part of the Appalachians. I think I've read somewhere that it was like 18 feet in diameter. And I mean, it is huge. It is large. The branches are as big as some of the oak trees at home. But we're gonna walk right past it. And we'll put Gavin up there in front of it for scale. This is the Kaffir oak. This is the largest oak tree in the southern Appalachians. Go stand in the corner there so we can get a sense of how big this thing is. Spread out your arms. The other way. Out. Up. Out. Both sides. Wide. To measure the oak tree. Okay. So I think I remember hearing somebody say it was like 18 feet around this big tree. And it certainly is a big one. And we're gonna walk right past it. I'll touch it and then we'll move on up the road. Alrighty, still climbing. And we just came out of the woods right over there and have been walking along underneath this power line. It's kind of funny, you hear it buzz like that, it does. It's really odd. But we're gonna move on up the way and we're getting ever closer to where we're gonna stay tonight. So we'll talk to you soon. Man, what is this mess? This is the steepest climb that we've had in weeks. There's rocks and there's going uphill and there's everything. It's like the trifecta. Holy crap, the Gavin just scampered up it like a rabbit. Man, holy cow. This is insane. I'm not sure sometimes why we do this. Maybe it'll flatten out when I get to the top of this mess. Of course, maybe there's another switchback too. Wow. What a mess. Wow. And Gavin's gone. It does flatten out there a little bit, briefly. I'm sure it goes up some more. Every step is closer to the shelter, but for crying out loud, we've earned it today. And there's more stairs over there and more rocks. Criminy. I'm not trying to be ungrateful, but this is the kind of stuff you'd like to get out of the way early in the day instead of going into your shelter at night. Holy cow. And they're still going up. And we just passed Curly and Iron Man back there as we started up this ridiculousness. So it's good to see them. I think they're about as tired as I am. But I figure we'll have a chance to commiserate a bit when we get to the shelter. See what happens. Well, thankfully, those rocks, holy cow, they ended finally onto a flat area. And we're kind of putzing along right now. We've got power lines up here. I wonder if that's the same power lines we crossed under earlier. And if just walking up underneath the power lines would have been a better trip. Well, those rocks were something else. But no, this is pretty steep over here. This is not the right way to come. Although we're going that way. But yeah, look at the valleys below. It's pretty nice. The view is right back there, just a ways. And I just, there were a couple of guys up there. I didn't feel like bothering them, and I'm honestly too tired to climb it. So I'm just gonna wander on and get to the shelter. We'll see you soon. Alrighty, we're still coming along the top of this ridge line. say we, Gavin's gone. He's already come across. And just looking at the guidebook, and these big piles of rocks are called bruisers, knobs, cairns. And there's plenty of them. I made a joke a while back about these being the rocks that they hadn't had a chance to spread out on the trail yet, but I'm not really sure how they got to be here. It's something I'll have to do some looking on, but I know that they didn't just occur naturally in these piles like you see up and down the trail there. No, that one's definitely man-made. That one did not just fall that way. Pretty impressive. But you know, the rest of them are just rock piles. And kind of like that one there. And a little bit of one there. Kind of interesting. But for definite and for sure, that one is man-made. That's about 7 or 8 feet high. And I'm glad somebody else did that because I wouldn't have had the patience for it. But that means we're about 0.2 or thereabouts from the turnoff to our shelter, which is a little bit off the trail, but hopefully not too terribly far. I think it's about 0.3 or 0.4 off the trail. And honestly, at this stage of the game, once I get off the trail, I don't think I'm going to worry about that little bit of distance that I have to cover to get over to the shelter, because I'm ready to sit down and relax and eat a little bit and go to the bed. So we'll talk to you soon.